Hi, this is olaw, also known as olaw on MTGO, and this is a deck tech for my blue-white control deck that I played at the Heirloom pre. So, if we can just quickly divide things up. Uh, Removal suite, that's 2 ousts, 2 crib swaps, and 4 oblivion rings. Then we have the counter spells, which are 4 broken ambitions and 4 castles. Draw spells, which are all neatly in a row due to the fact they are 2 mana. That's 4 twice for Creative Capsule. We have 4 Plume Veil, which doesn't really fit in any particular category. It's as a walling creature. Story Circle, which is just a really powerful enchantment against, well, any deck, really. And then it's the finishers, which are the 3 Sunblast Angels and 2 Sphinx of Dwyer Isle. I played 3 Sunblast Angels. I probably would have played 2 if I was to play the deck again, because I didn't really actually come across many situations where I was able to get full value out of it, and I like to get value out of my creatures. Well, particularly Sunblast Angel. And Sphinx of Dwyer, another Sphinx of Dwyer Isle would have probably came in if I took a Sunblast Angel. I put them in sideboard because I felt they'd be more powerful than they actually were. And yeah, if I was to change it, I'd probably take out a Sunblast Angel for another Sphinx and leave the Sunblast in solid against decks that would be really powerful against. So that's it in terms of finishes. The counter spells are all good. I play cancels because they're just a counter spell. You could also play Hinder, perhaps, which I'm not sure if that is better or worse than cancel generally. I think it's probably worse in some respects because if you're playing combo and they're playing, say, Hypergenesis or something, then you really just want it into the graveyard rather than back on into their library, because obviously Cascade finds it. And the other counter spell I'm playing is Broken Ambition. There's lots. In terms of 2 mana counter spells, there aren't many. It's either Negate or Remove Soul, pretty much, or Memory Lapse. Or again, that's got some issues with it, in that it gives them back the spell that they're wanting to play. So I usually go for a blue axe spell instead of a 2 mana counter spell, because that gives you a wider range of things you can counter. I usually play Power Sync as my personal favourite blue axe counter spell, because that way they can't play a first spell as a bait for your counter spell and then play the next spell as Power Sync taps down all their lands. But Broken Ambitions is another potentially good one. Clash obviously is a bit like a scry for the top of your library, so that's quite good. And the mill is not particularly relevant in this deck. Although I was thinking that with Oust, if you do Broken Ambition to them, you could send the card that you ousted into the graveyard by milling it out. I don't think that ever actually came up, so maybe a bit past sky, but potential. I just thought I'd give it a go over the Power, which I usually play, but it was okay. I can't really say if it was better or worse. I think I'd probably still play Power Sync, seeing as though most of the things that Broken Ambitions didn't seem that relevant, but obviously there's cause for argument. Bloomveil was really nice as a walling creature. As it comes in with Flash, it usually kills one of their creatures in the combat step, because they attack into it without knowing it's going to come down. There was a few options for this 3 mana spot, like Calcite Snapper and also Court Hussar. I'm not entirely sure which was the best choice. I went with Bloomveil and it proved quite useful, but it's quite annoying when you're sat with a 4/4 flyer that can't attack and you're just drawing into none of your finishes. Though I don't think Calcite Snapper or Court Hussar would particularly help in that situation, although I suppose Calcite Snapper can go on the aggressive. Draw spells, I usually I'll play Think Twice because it's instant speed, which allows you to keep counter mana up. I've never really had any problems with it. It's a really, really good card. And I also played Courier's Capsule, which is pretty nice. I'm not sure if there's a better draw spell that you could have played in that spot. But I mean, open debate, but Courier's Capsule was really good. In terms of the removal, I've got 4 Oblivion Rings and 2 Crib Swaps and 2 Oust. I really don't like Crib Swap in this deck, and I'm not really sure why I played it. I'm not a big fan of it just generally, but in this deck it's particularly bad because the 1/1 token can actually be quite relevant due to the fact that you don't really have many ways to deal with it, apart from if you have a Veil already in. Oust was really good. I wasn't sure how good it was going to be, so I only played 2 and then put 2 in sideboard. I probably would play 4 if I was going to change the deck, or play it again, but because I usually sideboarded in favour of the Crib Swaps. Sometimes the life gain from Oust can be relevant and makes your finishes quite a lot slower, giving them more turns, which is pretty bad, but it only really happened to me. There was only one occasion that was really relevant. In terms of the lands, we've got 2 Terramorphic Expanse. Different side text, really. And we're running slightly more planes, obviously, because of a Story Circle, so we can use that ability more. We're also using 4 Sejiri Refuge. Life gain is generally not that relevant, but it's nice to have some jewels, and there's not really much point playing Vivid in this deck when you can play Sejiri Refuge. In terms of the sideboard, I had 2 Celestial Purges, removes black and red permanents. Black's quite a popular colour in Heirloom, or has been recently, so it seemed worthwhile to have them. And they did come in useful in quite a few. Also, Jund got a lot of cards in the new season, so that seemed like a good option against Jund. Flash Freeze is another good card against Jund. It's also good against Hypergenesis and other, well, anything green or red basically comes in as for cancels or anything that's too slow, or quite a lot of choices really. But yeah, it was quite a versatile card. Sanctifiers, I was kind of worried a little bit about strong enchantments, a bit like Story Circle and Teferi's Moat, which we're going to come to. Coming into the format, so I decided to play Sanctifiers in the sideboard. I never really used it, I don't think, but it seems like a reasonably good card for the sideboard. I'm not sure if I would change it. Nates again is just things that don't play many creatures or more controlling decks, which your ousts and removal suite is very useful against. They come out and you can pinion the gates, and yeah, so mainly planned against sort of discard or any kind of combo deck we might see. The ousts were in sideboard just against any faster decks. As I say, I would have put them main deck if I played the deck again, and I'm not really sure what would fill the sideboard slots. Maybe Death Duelist or something, any sort of creature that helps, or card that would help against faster decks, probably. I have 1 more Story Circle, just against mainly bringing in against mono-colored decks, which would really hinder. Another Sunblast Angel, which I've explained, I thought would be good against particularly good strong aggro decks, but I never really knew what to take out for it if I ever wanted to bring it in, and I actually never wanted to bring a 4th Sunblast Angel in any of the games I actually played. As I probably have mentioned now, I'd have probably brought in another Sphinx and left that sideboard Sunblast. Last card is Teferi in the sideboard. This is, well, similar to the Story Circle, can just shut down games against any monocoloured deck or coloured deck which has a significant number of ground attackers which are all of 1 colour. can really shut down their game and allow you to take control, which is really nice. And yeah, you can just get some free wins off that card, which it did help in some games. So yeah, I would definitely recommend keeping that in the deck. And yeah, that's about it for the deck tech, I think. I hope it's explained the card choices and some of the decisions I made by building the deck. And yeah, so let's see how I did.